Hello enemies, how are you all? I hope you guys are doing fine. And I'm back with another video of my channel. In this video, we're gonna talk about Mirai. First we'll look at her skills, then we'll talk about the bases and cards to use, and finally we'll move on to the gameplay. So having been said that, let's begin. So the first skill that Mirai has called Shuriken. What it does? It gives you a Shuriken card that deals 30% damage of your attack power to your enemy if you do not receive any damage in the previous 4, 3 or 2 turns. And if you already holding 5 cards in your hand and your hand is full, then this Shuriken skill will be triggered immediately, dealing 30% damage of your attack power to your enemy. The second skill that Mirai has is called Shadow Hide. So according to this skill, if you are standing at the end of your turn within the 3, 4 or 6 blocks as it levels up to level 3, behind your opponent you will be invisible to your enemy and your enemy won't be able to attack you. There is another condition of this skill getting activated, and that is if you end your turn without moving from the tile you are standing at the beginning of that turn, you will also go in this stealth mode. Your enemy will not be able to attack you. And there is another feature of this skill, and that is this skill has a 20, 40 and 80% chance of removing any debuff that is on you as it levels up to level 3. The final skill that Mirai has, and the most deadliest skill that she has, is called the Flash. What it does, it just deals additional damage to your attack power as it levels up, reaching up to 150% damage of your attack power to your enemy. And this skill also has a condition of getting activated. If you are standing behind of your opponent 3, 4 or 5 blocks, then this skill will be activated as it levels up. Or if you are already in the Shadow Hide or the stealth mode because of that second skill, then this flash skill will be activated regardless of your distance from the enemy. And there is another feature of this skill, and that is your enemy will be in the reverse state and you will land one block in front of your enemy. So that was pretty much it for the skills. Now let's move on to decks and the bases that should be used with Mirai. So for bases to use with Mirai, I have only one answer to that, and that is Eternal M. You should know that Mirai increases her attack power by 2 whenever she levels up or kills a monster, but does not recover any health points. So because I mostly target my videos to the new players or the players with who have Mirai at lower levels, and keeping her alive is very much an important thing during the match, so always use the Eternal M, because that will help you to keep her alive, because she will not be recovering any health by killing monsters or leveling up. And for cards, you know, I like to keep my decks simple and almost pretty much similar that I use with most of the heroes. So here you can see I am using the Return Home, Large Portion, Hunter, Wizard Book and the Purification card. So these are the cards that I have also used in my previous video with Vlot. So I would suggest that you can change, you can use any card of I have shown here, or you can pick your choice of cards. But remember one thing. You should always try to use cards that let Mirai to stay on her block to let her second skill, the Shadow Hide, to activate it. There are so many cards that can give you that advantage, like Pirate Shelling, then it would be Copy card, then it would be Blackout or Change Hand, Windstorm. And these are the cards I'm just naming. Windstorm card, you can see Dice Chaos, Copy cards, then the Shuffle, Attack buffs. So these are the cards that you can use. We're just letting Mirai to stand on the block she was at the beginning of the turn to just activate your second skill. So that's pretty much it for the deck and cards. So just use the Eternal M base for her. Use most of those cards that allow her to stay on the block, because in that way her second skill, the Shadow Hide, is going to be activated, and it will also give you a chance to deal additional damage to your enemy by activating the third skill, the Flash. So that's pretty much it for this base and cards. Let's move on to the gameplay. So currently inside the game there are 2 heroes that has the highest capability of dealing damage to the opponent in a single shot, and they are Neria and Mirai. Neria has the highest ability to deal the most amount of damage to enemy, and the second place is given to Mirai. But Using Mirai is somewhat tricky compared to Neria because all three of her skill is under some sort of conditions to be activated or to be utilized. So that's why the winning percentage of Mirai is somewhat in the mid range, and that for this reason only you haven't seen Mirai getting debuff in some previous seasons like other heroes are getting, because Mirai does have a huge amount damage dealing capacity, but on the other hand getting the best result with Mirai is very tough. For that reason I am making this video to so that I can share my experience with her and let you guys know how to utilize her or somewhat utilize her more properly than you was previously doing. And I hope guys this video will teach you something about using Mirai that will help you win more matches with her. So you can see I leveled up my second skill because Ivy with her buffed the Forest Guardian skill, she gonna give me the entanglement if I stand next to a monster. So if having a skill at your disposal with the debuff removing capabilities are definitely a good one. So I was thinking using this low card to activate my second skill and remove this debuff, but it didn't work out, and the following turn it also didn't work out because I should have used the return home card, but instead I used the one. Thought I would be able to activate my second skill and remove the debuff, but it didn't activate it because there's a probability of 20, 40 and 80%, so that's why I didn't activate it. But if it gets activated, then you will be all sort of debuffs. There can be anything like entanglement, frostbite, all sort of debuff gonna be recovered and removed from you. I was lucky to have the keycard in my hand. So with that 4, I just killed the monster and then leveled up my skill. So you have to continuously upgrade the two skills that you have, the flash skill and the shadow hide skill. I tend to forget the name of these skills because the activation probability of the flash skill is somewhat dependent in the second skill, because when you are in the stealth mode, the flash skill is going to be activated regardless of your distance. For that reason you should always try to level up the second and the third skill at the same time. I would recommend you guys, if you can take both of the skills to level 2 continuously without paying any attention to the first skill, because Mirai's first skill is somewhat useless in my view. In most of the cases it won't matter if you are new to this game, or if your Mirai has a lower health, or if you are facing like grade 5 opponents with like 40 and 40 odd healths. Then in case of that, first skill doesn't come into play. The determining factor would be the second and the third skill. So that's why I would recommend you guys to turn on all 3 of the skills at the first, and then recover, then level up your second skill and the third skill simultaneously. Like if you took your second skill, the shadow hide, to level 2, in the next time when you get the chance to level up, take the flash skill to level 2. In that way you're gonna stay in a somewhat level playing field. Now here you can see my mastery took on, and I was 6 blocks behind my opponent, so that's why my second skill got activated and I'm in the stealth mode. In the next turn my enemy will land on the attack tile, but she won't be able to attack me because I was in the stealth mode. Here you can see I didn't receive any damage because in the previous 4 turns, so for that reason I received the Shirukan card. That's because of the first skill that I have, and I did 30% of my attack power to my enemy. And I always keep reading the descriptions of the skill because I have a very bad memory and I tend to forget what the skills may really do. So if you have something problems like this, keep reading the description and it will be good. When staying in the stealth mode when the showdown comes up is very much funny because your enemy will land on the attack tile continuously and she won't be able to attack you. So that's very much interesting thing. Here I should have used the return home card instead of using that, and I would suggest you guys to do that also, because return home card is a very useful card. Or in the case of any special card that you receive, you should always use it as early as possible, because here you can see my enemy used the steel card to steal it from my hand. If I have used it, it would have not been possible for my enemy. So and again I'll receive that entanglement. If I had the return home card, I would have easily used it and returned to my base. But regardless, purification came up, so that's why keeping this card is also a good decision. And I was lucky because my using the high dice paid off and landed on the attack tile, and my third skill flash got activated, because at the moment I landed on the attack tile, I was standing within the 5 blocks behind my opponent, so that's why I attacked her and did 150% times more damage compared to my attack power. And again you can see my enemy is in the reverse state, so and I landed one block in front of her, so that is the additional feature that flash skill have. And this is very much sad to see, because my enemy is using my card that I was holding a bit earlier. So guys, I would recommend, I have already told you that, but I would recommend that level up the skills like according to the following that I'm saying. Turn on all 3 of the skills and then take the second and the third skill to level 2 in tandem. After that, I would recommend take your decision based on the situation of the match. If you are gonna land on an attack tile and you will have the probability of activating the flash skill, then turn it on and take it to level 3, or you can always take the second skill to level 3. But one thing you have to do, turn all 3 of the skills and then take the second and the third skill to level 2 first. And I will say for Mirai, don't pay any attention to the first skill Shuriken until you have the second and the third skill, the Shadow Hide and the Flash to level 3, because to me it's a useless skill. Not useless, but useful to me till now. So that's why I am saying based from my experience. Here again my second skill is gonna be activated and I'll be in a stealth mode and my enemy won't be able to attack me. Here you can see I used the large potion card and I didn't move from my block, so that's why I'm gonna stay in that stealth mode. And this match was pretty easy, because my enemy is gonna land on that trap tile and then die, so that was pretty easy. I told you I gonna show you guys something funny with the third skill of Mirai, the flash skill. So this flash skill is very much useful against XR too, because this gives you the additional damage, and these tanky heroes like Rehan and XR. Against this flash skill with the additional 150% of my attack power damage, it gives you a huge advantage. You can almost one shot or win the game with just a single hit if your attack power is already up to a certain amount. So if you have your attack power at 10 or at least 10 to 15, then your one shot at the flash skill level 3 is gonna do at least 35 damage, and that's pretty much good to take the match in your turn. So my enemy just landed in one block in front of that. So I used the reverse card here and landed on my base. So that was a very good decision in my front. In most of the cases, reverse dice are good to keep it that in your hand. So here I again upgraded my second skill, because if I use the 5 dice, then I will be behind my enemy and I will be invisible and he can't attack, because with his third skill is also is very deadly. So that's why leveling up my second skill was the right choice to me. Using 5 at them for a bit, but I didn't have the hunter card, so I didn't take a chance and use the high card, because that would have been given me a probability to capture here. Now see what happens. My enemy landed one block behind his base, and now in the next turn, with the 5 that I am holding in my hand, I will land on the attack tile and my flash skill is gonna be activated. And for that reason, because of that flash skills feature of landing one block in front of your enemy, I gonna get captured because on his base. See, I got the 6 and then my flash skill got activated. I deal the 25 damage and here you see I get captured. So in some cases flash skill is definitely good, but in some cases you're gonna find yourself in these tricky situations. And if this happened to me during the last phase after showdown showed up, I could have lost the match. So these sort of fun things happen to you while using Mirai. So that's why I told me using Mirai is very tricky, and for this reason Mirai's Mirai's win percentage isn't that much of high compared to the Neria. So that was it for this video, guys. So in terms of summarizing what we should do with the skills upgradation, so first we're gonna turn on all 3 of the skills that Mirai has, then we're gonna take the second and the third skill to level 2, and after that, depending on the situation of the match, we're gonna take either the second or the third skill to level 3, and after that, if we have time, then we're gonna give our focus to the first skill. And I think, guys, if you follow this upgradation guide, I hope you guys can do better what you are already doing with Mirai, because I have played almost 250 matches with Mirai to just make this video. So I hope, guys, this video has something useful for you to learn. And guys, one more thing, if you find these videos that I make about the diecast characters useful, and these videos are helping you to win matches, please consider subscribing, because most of the viewers that I have and watch my videos are not my subscribers. So guys, please subscribe, and if someone in your friends play this diecast, share my videos to them also if you find my videos useful. So having been said that, guys, see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and God bless. Bye bye.